Hey everybody, another special show today. Today is going to be a little different because it's not going to be me with one of my co-hosts, either Tyler, Monica, Braden, or Paul. This is going to be a one-on-one chatting. It's going to be mostly toys, which I know it's not Toy Closet, but this guest deserves a special platform. I want to make sure that we're highlighting all the work that they do on their social media side between YouTube and TikTok. So stay tuned on the next episode of Press for Time.
First time?
Yeah, you?
No, not my first time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the House of Geekery himself, Mr. L.T.
Hey,
Thank you
buddy.
so much. How are you,
Thank you
buddy?
for having me, man. Finally,
Nah,
we got to get together and get this going. It's been a while.
yeah, we've been
It's
talking
actually
offline for probably 7 months, I'd say.
something like
Easy.
that. Finally,
Yeah.
finally, our schedules meet.
No, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you for your time. How's everything going by you?
Good, man. Got out of work, ran by and made sure my mom was taken care of, and picked up a couple of packages. I get at least 2 to 3
I'm
figures in the
sure.
mail every week.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible collection you have. For those that are not familiar, this is, I would say, the number one DC figure collector in the world.
What?
Big Toddy Mac fan, and just avid lover of toys. And I know you've been doing it for such a long time. So
I have.
collector to collector, I commend you for quite the collection you've built.
Thank you.
So yeah, I would say, if you don't mind, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Obviously, we met on the world of TikTok. Where you have a very large following, and you just kind of share your passion and love for figures as they come out. You do a mix of like your own press releases, in my opinion. You've had some great opportunities to kind of show off some figures before anybody else gets them, which is awesome. And coming from that media side, I go to the toy fairs and I do articles and stuff like that. It's great to see that kind of coverage in TikTok, because I feel like we don't see it much. We see
Right.
just kind of the casual collector, which is nothing wrong with that, but we don't see much of the true media coverage. So you
Right.
do a great job of that. And I feel like Todd McFarlane doesn't get enough of that, with it comes to his brand. You don't see anybody else. You see a lot of hate sometimes, to be honest, like the comparison of figures
True.
and stuff like that.
True.
But I have my mixed opinions. I'm a big fan too. I have a wall not like yours. Mine's a little more varied, but yeah, I mean, if you don't mind just telling our listeners a little bit about like your YouTube side and kind of what you're about.
Well, I am just turned 50 this past October, so I've been at this game for a long time. I'm fortunate to have been born at the time where the first 1977 Star Wars figures came out. I was there when the first Masters of the Universe, the new 3.75-inch GI Joes, Transformers Generation 1. I got to see all of these figures come out for the first time, and I have never looked back. I mean, it wasn't until maybe 1987, right before my freshman year going into high school, that I really started collecting figures and not opening them. Up until then, I had been opening all my figures. I mean, I had almost all the Masters of the Universe, at the time, GI Joe, Transformers, what have you. But it wasn't really until 1987-ish that I decided to, collect and not open. I mean, of course, back then that was kind of unheard of. You were like, you bought these figures to play with,
Right.
and it was the first set of a toy company called Galoob. They
I remember Glue. Yeah.
they put out a set of Star Trek: The Next Generation figures, and it was 87, I believe. And they're just these little 4-inch figures, and I fell in love with them. I mean, I love the show. I'm a Trekkie. I'm a big Trekkie. Uh, and I was like, well, it'd be a shame to just, lose something so small, because I mean, they were small figures. I was like, yeah, I'll just keep them in box, and there, just created a monster, because after that, we got uh, like Batman the Animated Series Kenner figures in 92. I mean, sorry. Right before that, we had some Toy Biz DC figures. I started collecting those. And it just took off. I mean, and then McFarlane started making figures in 94. Started collecting those, the old school Spawn figures.
The good old
Were,
blister packs, right? With
oh yeah,
the
the
crazy, yeah.
packs, the ones that are like
More
compared to
dangerous to
now.
open.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you have to like razor them open.
Yep.
Uh yeah, and I mean, figures just, and then the figures started evolving, getting more detailed, getting more articulation, of course, costing more, and then the collectability, where not it wasn't until, well, Spawn McFarlane did this in the 90s, where he would have his chase figures. You're familiar with like his platinums today. He did do chase figures, and it was usually like gold versions of Spawn, or silver Spawn, or Malboja, or whatever. And that's when people like really like started collecting, like really hunting figures. Because
Right.
you can just go to any store and you'll see the figure, but these special ones you have to really look for. And that intrigued me a lot. I mean, especially going looking just at every store. I mean, back then, they didn't have, at least down here, like Targets. It was
Right.
more Kmart, Walmart, uh, even
KB Toys.
oh,
There you
KB
go.
Toys,
See?
Toys R Us.
The best. Yeah.
I have plenty a toy from KB still with the sticker on it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Toys R Us, and then they had mail in type figures. You'd send so many UPC symbols and mail it off.
Were you
Yeah,
one to do that as an inbox collector though?
I
Like it
do
was get it.
have some. Well, when they would come, they wouldn't come in a box. They'd be just like wrapped in
Right.
plastic.
Well, I'm saying more like in the sense of damaging the boxes for the UPCs, because I feel
Oh
like
wow.
some of them required that, so that's always like that gray area, you
Yeah,
know.
no, that's true. And I mean, back then it was kind of hard to buy two of a figure just to do it.
Right.
But if the figure was special enough, the mail away, yeah, I would do it. But now these days, since I'm an adult, I can buy two of, of any figure if I want, and if it's worth it to open and one, or display, or just keep it in the box and just put it on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, now like I said, I've been an in-box collector for a long time. A lot of people just do not understand why I do that, and it's more of a nostalgia, aspect for
Yeah.
me.
Well, I have to say the one thing that's great about a lot of those figures in particular is the packaging is great for
Oh yeah,
displaying. You think back when Hasbro about a year ago decided to go windowless for a while, and that takes away, like, I know you can't see my whole area, but like this entire wall is what you have, but Spider-Man retro cards and Power Rangers, and then the other side is the DC wall. So
right. Well,
the
I
aesthetic of that design just fits, the art
yeah,
in
my other
the
room
visual.
was my Marvel Legends wall. I collected Marvel Legends for a long time. Uh, Not a long time, a while. But I wasn't a purist completist collector like I
Right.
am McFarlane. I would buy the really cool figures, and I had a wall, and then like I said, they decided to go windowless, and I was like, why would I want to just hang up a box?
Yep.
So
And then
I
the gamble of, is that figure even in the
yeah,
box?
especially people returning them, and it's swapping out the figures either here, even sending it back to Amazon. Amazon don't check, and then they just repackage it
Send
and
it to
send
someone
it
else.
back. Yeah.
It's happened to me, unfortunately. Like right around the holidays, I bought a Captain America Bucky Barnes for a friend at a Walmart. Gave it to him. He's like, "You're not gonna believe it."
Oh
He's like,
no.
"There's a Captain America Bucky Barnes in the box, but it's like fake." Like
Oh,
they at least put another version of the figure versus just complete figure swap. So it's just like,
forget it. No, yeah. I quit. I put them all away, and I concentrated on McFarlane, and that was what that already going 2 years ago. Last year, 2 years.
as far as the Hasbro thing,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and
yeah,
like they're
and
finally coming back to it now.
yeah,
To the
but I'm already too far gone to
Yeah, no, I don't
and
blame you.
too far invested in just
Well,
McFarlane. Yeah.
listen, Toddy Mac is a dedicated releaser of figures, and we've
Oh,
talked about his stuff plenty on the shows.
he's dropping figures like every other day. It's
Oh man, it's
crazy. Two,
crazy.
there was two today,
Yeah, it's insane. Did you
and
see that picture that has that I don't know if you follow Fraternia on Twitter.
oh, okay,
He posted, someone sent him a screenshot of that Superman
yep,
of the box.
the
I don't know if
box,
you saw, did you see the build a figure?
yeah, Plastic Man.
That's
Well, I
all
mean,
I've been waiting for, man. So
I'll be
I'm
honest.
excited.
I keep my nose down. I mean, it's my ear to the ground as far as leaks, and
Right.
that set had been leaked at least 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
So the next two figures, I don't know if you want to hear the spoilers or
Oh,
some.
we could do a spoilers for anybody that's listening, but I want to hear it if you don't mind. So 3, 2, 1. You
Well,
had your chance.
spoiler. Okay, well, since he dropped two today, I bet you he's going to drop two
To
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Which by the time your show goes on, it'll probably
They'll
be
be out. Fair
okay.
enough. Good point.
Well, the other two are supposed to be Batman and Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Green Lantern,
Okay.
and it was confirmed that it was the Plastic Man build a figure. Now, what we didn't know at the time is that was going to be it was a Superman, the blue, the red
Right.
and blue. Or we don't know if it's a red yet, but I'm sure they're going to be. It's going to be
Platinum.
yeah, platinum, and or could be another variant with a different Plastic Man build a piece.
True. That's a good point.
It could be
But then,
either
but that would mean we would potentially get a whole set of platinums then, right? Which has he done that for a build a figure? I know he's released a build a figure complete as a variant,
right.
but not in the actually the Arkham set, right? He had like the all gray
The
version,
all gray, yeah, of Solomon Grundy. So that was the
but
gold label
I mean,
set.
just when you feel like he's done something unique, he comes out with something. It's so hard to keep up,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know.
even if it's not, we do know that blue Superman cannot exist without the red.
Right,
So that's going to come out whether it be an exclusive to some company or his
right.
site,
His store, right.
or it be a platinum. We don't know. I mean, just like the Azrael Knights End.
Oh man, lucky dog.
Well, I'll tell you,
I know a nightmare with those. Even the
yeah,
last Azrael was a pain to get.
yes. Well, there. Well, I mean, only because that Azrael in the comics has a blue and red and a red version suit,
Right,
So
so it
that was
makes
only
sense.
and Mattel back in the early 2000 or mid 2000s put out both figures as well, blue and red.
Got it.
So, yeah, it was only a natural that the blue one was going to come out. And fortunate for me, I've been able to. I've been considered a McFarlane influencer, where they would send me figures to review, show off, get the hype going. And when I finally received them, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to open it, but I can't because
You're obligated in a sense.
I'm
Yeah,
obligated to open them." And I mean,
tough.
I already ordered that red version.
Right.
If I
So
really,
obviously the gamble of you getting another platinum, that's
yeah.
the name of
So
the
and
game.
that's how it's been in the past.
Right.
I'll order and then that's when the hunt begins for the platinum. Now, there's, like I said, I got the steel, Superman steel platinum. Also, they gave me to open and show off, and I was just so happened that I had ordered one, and it came in platinum. So
Nice. That's a score.
yeah. So
Yeah, I've only been fortunate for a couple of platinums in store, and like, that shock value is just, it's an awesome feeling. It makes you feel like
oh
a kid again.
and because I'm my dumbass completist ways, I have to have every
Every version.
stupid variant, even if it's a variant that's like, maybe the head's tilted that way versus the regular. I mean, I'll go that extreme. Luckily, it hasn't been like that. I
Right.
mean, I don't know if you recall, what, 2 3 years ago when he put out the Dark Flash,
Yes.
and it
That
had,
there was 3 versions, right?
yeah, and it never panned out that there ever was. And I was hunting for that figure for like just years, and then again with some leaked lists we got several months ago, that was on it. The other versions of
Got it.
the Dark Flash,
And
which,
it was the different head sculpts, right?
different.
Essentially,
Yes, that also that happened with
the Robins.
The Robin Crows from
Yep. Before we got the 4-pack.
yes, you had to hunt down the Robin.
Yeah.
It was just the head sculpt.
Painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a lot more committed around that time, and then I got exhausted. Like, it just came, one, very limited in space, and obviously being the multiverse of toy collecting, I have it all. So it's like I can't fill the whole wall of DC, so I have to be mindful, and
Well,
that's where it's been now.
right. I'll be honest. I cannot have done it all by myself, and I really thank TikTok for exposing my fandom to this, to other people, like-minded people that share my passion and will actually go out and hunt for me as well. I'll
Which
hunt
is
for them
awesome.
as well. I mean, I got some good friends that last year went to San Diego Comic-Con and got me all the exclusives. I just, boom, cashed out them some money and said, please, give me. I was
That's
fortunate to
awesome.
get every single one.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, he ended up releasing pretty much all of them on his website. Right? Go figure.
Yeah, well,
I know it's always a gamble,
it's
but
a gamble. Yeah, because
when you're into it, you're passionate. You have to strike when the iron's hot, as they say.
yes, I will never let a figure go at least a month without me getting it, finding, even if I have to pay. I mean, I'll be honest, I've paid at least triple sometimes of what it's worth, only because I know those figures will never be, found. Especially down here, the market I have down here, it's a scalper's paradise.
Yeah.
The people resell the hell out of these figures. I've got a lot of friends, good guys, but they're scalpers.
Right.
I'll hit them up first to see if I can get some kind of like good friend discount. But yeah, no.
When they know they want to make that money, they know the
Well, no,
money's
yeah,
there.
yeah, and especially if not down here on eBay, Mercari, when they're charging at least 4 times,
Right.
and the more exclusive the figure, the higher it
The
is.
highest price. Yep. It's the name of the game. I mean, it's been like that for a while, and I feel like at the peak of the pandemic, it was that's everybody was buying everything up, so you couldn't find anything. So then it just made it even harder.
Yeah,
And that I think he wasn't as wild with because now he's doing the golds and the platinums like around the same time, and he's not giving anybody a chance to breathe. Let's just be honest.
yeah. No,
I
he's
mean,
got.
that's always what he's done though over the years.
Oh yeah. He's got the regular releases, and then the gold, the platinum, and now he's got those collector edition figures.
Right.
Uh, and of course he now manages DC Direct, so you've got all those figures come out. They're all DC related, of course, but they're not part of the DC Multiverse.
Right.
You know, he's got the animated series figures, which I've
Those
got.
were essentially re-releases, right? They were DC Directs
Yeah. So
originally.
far, they have. There's been a couple that like the Build-A-Figure piece, the ones that had never seen before, like Condiment Man. There's never been a figure.
Right.
Lockdown had never been. Everything else are re-releases as far as the sculpts. Of course, repainted, cell shaded, and some of them. A lot of people hate that, but little
Yeah,
boxes.
seeing them in person, I was a bit turned off because I felt like it was a bit excessive. Like as far as like, it's I just like the idea of having those characters as they are, and I felt the same thing with Hasbro with the X-Men figures with the VHS. I felt
No,
like they went a little too hardcore with the cell shading, but to each their own, right?
well, I have the original. I'm looking at them right now. I have the originals from DC Direct that were pre-McFarlane. This was when DC Direct, before they didn't go under. They just closed.
They had like those squared boxes where they had the
Yeah,
deceased figures, right?
yeah. Before they closed their doors in 2019, 2020. I'm not sure. I don't remember. They had put out the last figures of Batman, Jason Todd, as animated Jason Todd. And I was fortunate to get all those before they closed the doors. But then when McFarlane took over, he re-released those again on top of new figures. And again, they were all just repackaged figures for
Right.
those who couldn't get them the first time, which, it's all business. He knows they're going to sell. People bitch and moan. Oh my God, that, but they sell. I don't know if
Yep.
you follow any of the Facebook groups, how they're all, oh, another Batman.
Yeah.
Even
I
Todd,
see it.
Todd has says, yeah, Batman sells. I
That's it.
guarantee you go to any Walmart with it, yeah, you'll find a lot of figures on peg, but you will never find a Batman just sitting there.
There's only one Batman figure that's not like really Batman that I see in every store, and I'm sure you probably see him everywhere too. Duke Thomas. You
Oh,
can't give him away.
yeah.
Every store.
Yeah, no, that's true. But no, yeah, for the most part, if you will not find a Batman, and it's because he sells.
Right.
They
Every
just
generation.
yeah. With this past Azrael pre-order this past week, there was another Batman, a repaint, and then the first appearance Batman. Three Batmans in
With the
one.
platinum.
Yeah. And now we're getting this Build-A-Figure set with another Batman. And
So those are gonna be like, it seems like they're almost a mix of animated series, but not animated series design. Like, is
this new
that what?
set, Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say yes. I think it's. I don't remember the artist, Jeff Johns. I think Jeff Johns. I'm not sure if that's it. He did that series of Justice League in the comics,
Okay.
where the blue Superman, and then of course the armored, not armored, the Hook
Yeah.
Aquaman. That was all part of that series. And
We've gotten a lot of Aquamans over the year too, which is
yeah.
crazy, between the page punchers and the one Aquaman that I can't stand with the open mouth, the
Ah,
Flashpoint,
the
with the
Flash.
one flash that has eluded me. Cannot
Oh,
find him. 50
well,
$60.
that was the star of the set, man.
Yeah, he was.
It
It
was.
was like the tease that he's willing to give you an extra head sculpt.
That's what sold it.
Yep.
Everyone wants an extra head rather than buying a whole nother damn figure for that head. He gave you that head, boom, that sold out instantly.
And it was a great mold too. So
Oh
that
yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah. One day, I'm sure I'll get him on Mercari when I give in like we do. You know.
お前はもう死んでいる。何
Yeah, well, I mean, again, and it also sucked that those were Walmart exclusives on top of them being a quarterly released Build-A-Figure set.
Yes, I remember
That
that.
I
There was
hate.
actually Target. It was Target.
Target.
Because
Sorry, yes,
because my wife works for Target, and I was like,
yes,
you got to
sorry.
keep an eye out. Come on. And
Yeah.
it never
I
saw the
didn't,
light of day in her store. So
I didn't like the fact that there was one per quarter, one per 4 months.
right. Well, they did
And
that before. They did that with the Batman Beyond wave. It was
yeah,
the
yeah,
same idea. The teasing and
I didn't like that
yeah,
one either.
yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, especially you find, and like I I don't keep them in order. I
Right.
keep the build figures in order, and in order, and then just going so many months with just one hanging there, and then
And then
two
Gap.
until December. Look, finally four.
The OCD kicks in. You see the hole,
Oh,
and it's just yeah. I hear that.
I'm bad.
So I got to ask you a very tricky question because
Cool.
with the collection that you have, out of all the, we'll stick with the McFarlane waves. What would you say like your top 3 figures would be
Right now, of what I have,
of what he has released that you have gotten your hands on? I know it's tough because you're gonna have to break your neck to look around. Oh, there's so many, you know. It's I ask myself all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I know
I,
one of them is the Grim Knight Batman.
okay,
Only
which is what
because he's right there.
awesome
Uh,
figure. That was right at the peak of when weapons were
yeah, I was
banned,
going to
pretty
say the
much.
next one is Red Hood, the last Red Hood that came with 2 pistols. After that, now, I like the metal DC metal Batman with the scythe and the Sith and the metal jacket
The
that
jacket,
came with the
the
guitar.
very pointy spikes that actually
Yes.
can hurt you.
Man, that's 3. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's faster than I thought. I mean, I feel like I would struggle.
I'll be honest, the
Um,
Azraels that just came out
Yeah,
are just beautiful. I
I
mean,
mean,
they
I
are.
watched your video and I was just drooling. Because
They are sculpted so fine, and
yeah,
I can't wait till mine come in so I can put it on the wall.
I
But
love that he gave the 6 pieces too. I mean, it's a
yeah,
lot. It's a lot of plastic, you know, to give in the
and they're
figures.
like hard look blades. They don't
Yeah,
bend. Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, those are the main 3. I mean, there's more. I mean, I love them all. I mean, you have some that are just
Yeah,
they're not good figures. But of course, that's when the completist OCD comes in. Yeah, and I need it no
no
matter what.
choice. Yeah, I would
Uh,
say maybe some of the earlier sets had a lot of those questionable figures, at least in my opinion. You
well,
know, like
one
that
of
early
them.
Build a Figure Bane
Oh,
that
yeah,
didn't really stick together too
that
well.
was the Last Night on Earth series. Yeah, that one's all right. But I was thinking more of the at least a
The
couple of
back,
figures from the Black Adam series of the movie, the Cyclone.
yeah. I
Uh,
actually didn't. I only bought the Doctor Fate and the Black Adam with the hood. That's it.
uh,
I kind of stayed away. I'm just like, and then you keep seeing them in clearance and GameStop. I'm like, I'm good.
yeah, yeah. No, like there's some that I mean, there's a couple of flashes that weren't really that good either. I mean, I love the
Yes.
Flash as a character. There's the Flash for Injustice 2 that came out.
Yeah, it was
It was
both
two
of them, right?
both.
The 2
Yeah.
versions. Yeah.
So
I thought
no,
the
yeah,
Supergirl was disappointing. Her hair mold was really, really weird.
true.
I didn't buy it just because I'm like, it doesn't look like hair. I don't know what that's supposed to be. You know, and it's like I want the figure, and then he came out with a 3-pack. I'm like, is it any better? Nope.
No. The only thing different than that 3-pack was that Batman had a little paint app to it. The other
Right.
two, Fate and Supergirl, were the exact same thing.
Which
And
is, you know, that's what he
and they
does.
were, yeah, and those figures were released as the Page Puncher series first, and then they became
Yes.
the DC Multiverse.
Right. Mix it all up.
Oh
It's one
yeah,
big
yeah.
multiverse, so it's okay. And then
So yeah,
there was that weird 3-pack he did on Amazon too with Clayface, Batman, and Batwoman. And it was like
Batwoman.
the only way to get that Batwoman, right?
Yeah,
As far as I know.
he's well. I mean, right until we just until a little while ago, last month or 3 weeks ago when we had that Hal Jordan drop.
Right.
We only had one Hal Jordan, and that was the 2-pack.
The 2-pack, right?
Yeah, he's never been singly carded released.
And I
But
think that one, it wasn't that first one like not like true classic design. This is the newer release is closer, right? To
yeah. Well, the newest is closer. However, it's technically not DC Multiverse.
right.
It's the McFarlane digital figures in what I think it was called Fidgetal. He was trying the digital figures. What was it?
Do you do
Anyway,
those too?
I'm stupid. Yes. Well, no. Wait. Are you talking about the digital?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Thank
get
God.
that.
Thank you.
I love you, McFarlane, but I can't. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
NFT nonsense, essentially.
as it is, these 3 new ones that are coming out in physical form are coming with digital figures.
And digital Build-A-Figure, which
and digital build
that's
figures.
just disappointing.
I just don't understand those. I do not understand how you can own a digital copy where someone can just click and paste and they have it too. Wait, what?
Yeah, I never understood that. I know Hasbro did that with like I'm a Power Ranger guy too, so they had like when they did the Megazord, they did a black and gold version, but they
Right.
sold the NFT first. So you only bought the NFT, and they said if you buy it, you get the option to order the actual figure. So it's like you still had to kind of double dip, which
Yeah.
is
Well,
just mind blowing to me.
I already told myself if I happen to find another of those digital figures and it's like on clearance or whatever the hell, I'll open it and I'll see what this whole digital nonsense is about. But I cannot get into it. I just don't see how I can give someone money and then they say, okay, here's a file that you own that no one else in the world's going to own. But that makes no sense, especially in this digital age.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I know I want my plastic in a box. Thank you very much.
Physical, tangible all day. Just like media. I mean, I'm not sure if you're into physical media in either game or movie sense, but that's a very hot topic nowadays. I was going to ask what you think about that. How all these people are deleting and removing licenses, and you're losing access to stuff that you've potentially purchased or leased, if you will.
Right. I mean, I used to be a real big collector of DVDs, Blu-rays back in the day, and now you hear Target, Best Buy, they're doing away with physical copies. Everything's gonna be digital. And I used to like have just a library. I was bored one day. Let's watch this. And then same thing with
We've
video
been
games.
spoiled.
You just play with it. See which one you want. Oh, let's play this one. Load it. Whatever. I mean, that also comes back from we're of that age where we grew up with media like that you could take out and replace. It was not digital.
Right. But now I think we've been spoiled, but not necessarily in a good way. It's like too much of a good thing if you think about it.
Right. So like my games, I like physical copy. I don't have anything digitally in my computer, in my PS5 minus the actual game data or the loading data. Everything else.
What they make you download from the disc anyway.
Yeah. But
at least you have the physical, which is great.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it's a scary time in my opinion, because I feel that what's going to happen is the surge of interest is going to come back when all these people are abandoning ship, and it's going to make the scalper paradise. All these people that got rid of this stuff on the cheap. I know a lot of people that did get rid of this stuff, and then I shouldn't have sold it. Now you're going to go pay double, triple to get back a DVD, a Blu-ray, an HD DVD. Show our age, right? No laser disc though.
Right. So it's like, wait, there's laser disc too.
Betamax. Let's go far back.
Yes. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hell, people there are collectors that people are buying old, like those old Disney. I don't know what
the VHS, the clamshell.
Yeah, those are like money.
So there was a lot. I remember there was like a couple of articles years ago that talked about that, and then people were starting, "Oh, I have that in my collection," and then everybody started trying to sell them. So, like, now you could kind of
Yeah.
find them anywhere. Like, I go to thrift stores all the time with my 7-year-old and stacks of Disney, you know? The only
Right.
ones you look for that Little Mermaid with that cover that they'll never release again, you know, stuff
Right.
like that. But, I mean, look, it was a great time to be, I feel like, a media person, you know, because like you
Right.
said, having that physical, tangible, having to think about what you wanna put on. I think it all started with cable. You think about cable TV, you had 1,000 channels and nothing to watch. I
Right.
think that's the world we're living in now because we have Netflix and all these other platforms. You put on something and 90% of the time you don't know what to watch. You
Right.
know, it's a tough time. But then you get attached to something, it can be gone tomorrow. You know, like
Mm.
I had a show that I ended up really liking on HBO Max uh called Infinity Train. It was an animated series,
Okay.
and it was like a little mini series. It was like 3 seasons. They canned it. Like, they, like, wiped it from existence. You can't buy physical media, you can't buy digital. It just doesn't exist. And I
Right.
think, like, somebody that knew the creators just started putting Google Google links on Twitter, like, "Hey, we want people to have it." You know? It's like the way of what Warner Brothers has been doing. They're just kinda,
Uh,
like, canceling everything, you know?
they, yeah, tax write off.
It's a scary time, you know? That's what I was saying, but, yeah, I figured I'd ask you because obviously as a collector, you come from that time of, you know, we have a better appreciation for physical stuff,
Oh yeah.
whereas everybody's into NFTs now, like we said, and, you know, anything that is, on their phone, if you will.
Right.
It's like, "Oh, I have it here." It's like, it's not the same,
Yeah.
you know?
It,
Even
it's
music.
That's
Music's a
what
big
I say.
one.
The resurgence of vinyl.
Yeah. I'd say
The
cassettes too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I'm a musician, and I had a dream as a kid to be able to put my music on a cassette,
Well,
and,
yeah.
you know, and it makes me really feel my age, you know, but again, it reminds me that, hey, I can just throw that on and I know what I'm listening to
Right. Right.
versus going on Apple Music and on a whim, you know, is what I'm looking for gonna be available.
Yeah.
So,
No, I got my daughter into vinyl the way before she started high school, and this was she's 25 now. What, more than 10 years ago, 15
yeah,
years ago, I started her into
that's
vinyl, and
awesome.
she loves it. She collects every once in a while, just uh, and that was something that wasn't maybe 20 years ago. There was no vinyl. I mean, because it was
Right?
still CD or no, well, MP3 was still was hitting, but
Yeah, the
DVD,
last
yeah,
20 years, it was big on the Napster and
uh,
the well, not even Napster, see, like, I'm gonna start going too far back, like LimeWire, like, I was thinking more of, like, when they started the subscription, like Rhapsody. I don't know if you remember
okay,
Rhapsody.
yeah,
I worked at Best Buy, like, 20 something years ago, and we used to have to sell those subscriptions, and that's when it really started. It started with these platforms of, you know, you can buy the album, and then you can listen to it unlimited times per month, and that's really when it started kinda getting a little more away from the physical. Like, you still had the CDs, but the vinyl was very unheard of unless you had somebody that was a artist that knew they had a following, knew that it was gonna sell, and it'd be extremely limited release.
mm,
And it's still like that now. But I feel like
yeah,
you can go in to Target and you can buy vinyl, which is crazy
yeah.
nowadays.
And
It's cool though.
it's just not. It's like vinyl with extra whatever, like extra tracks, and then extra vinyl with extra stuff. It's more how like DVDs used to be back in the day with all
Collector's
the extra,
editions.
yeah. And then they
It
do
gives you
the
that bonus.
yeah, then the different vinyl colors you can collect different,
We
even
gotta
even
make sure Todd McFarlane doesn't start releasing vinyl because then we're gonna be in deep trouble.
I
Come
would,
out with those platinums. He's gonna be like, Toddy Mac here. I decided to put out a Batman '89. I'm gonna have 7 versions.
uh,
Oh, I can see him
well, I
doing it.
mean, he originally he had won the license from Mattel in 2000. It was only for 3 years, And it was like last year that he announced he got it for another 2 for 2025. Mattel had it for 20 years. So I think McFarlane could pretty much do that too.
If he's listening, right? It's like, oh, you guys gave me an idea.
I mean,
just remember, if we see it, you're heard it here first.
The DC license in the 80s. Then they lost it to Toy Biz for a year, I think, year and a half. And then they got it back. They owned it the whole 90s. And then Mattel took it over in 2000, held it for 20 years. So I think McFarlane he could probably top that easily.
Well, think about what he's doing with other licenses, like not to go too much into the weeds with it, but he announced that he has licensing with Hasbro now. So not only is he going to do DC, he's going to do Marvel and Transformers and G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Which I wanted to ask what you thought about that. Insane.
When I first heard about it, I was excited, but I was like, oh man, am I going to have to start collecting Marvel again? Shit.
Page punchers, probably, right?
It was announced that there were the page punchers, the smaller ones, which I started collecting the DC ones, and I'm up to date with them. But I'm like, I hope they don't put any more out because I didn't like them. They were just these little 4-inch figures that were meant for kids to play while they're reading the comic book, and that was his main goal.
Which is a great incentive.
To read the comic book, get people interested back in the physical form of reading comics. So when they announced that, I was like, oh, wow. I mean, how are they going to do that? And then they say, oh, it's the little ones. I'm like, okay, well, then is it Transformers? Are they going to transform? No, they're little figures. G.I. Joes, are they going to be the 3 and or like the new 6-inch ones? But no, they're the little ones. And that's going to go hopefully the same for Power Rangers down the road. They all the licenses Hasbro has. Is it Dungeons and Dragons?
They got they got Dungeons and Dragons. They got Fortnite, which is they don't do much with anymore. But it's just a crazy idea that he's got enough trust in the industry where they're willing. Obviously they're limiting what he can create. You know what I mean? But he's out there pumping in all directions at this point.
Yeah, and he's got he just announced licensing with Universal Studios. They do the Hollywood Monsters, Jurassic Park. They got a bunch of the names under their belt.
So I mean, the one thing I'm wondering, if you remember, he used to do the movie Maniacs before, not what he's doing now. Do you want to see him revisit the way he did that with the horror movies
and the horror? Oh yeah.
Because I feel like he's picking weird licenses now. If you think about it, and they're not even figures.
No,
they're more statues, right?
They're like little statues, and they're based on Warner Brother movies. Because they're not horror. The closest he got to a horror, I think, was Mandy. I don't know. It's a B-rated movie with Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Other than that, no. I mean, he calls them movie maniacs, and I understand because he owns probably that name and that moniker at least. But yeah, no,
misleading a little bit.
Yeah, I wish he would go back to those old ones. I collected all those younger, but I unfortunately had to sell those because I had a rough patch in my during my younger years.
I think we all had that. Yeah,
I had to sell all those movies, man. He had beautiful. He had like Chucky, Leatherface, Freddy.
Evil Dead ones were great.
Oh yeah, God, he had so many. Pumpkinhead, Candyman. He did so many. And then he would do the variants of those, the bloody ones, and I wish he could go. So, if he's going to go start with the Universal Monsters.
It's a good start.
It'd be a great start to that. I mean, as far as them right now, I don't collect those because.
Well, because it was like Bugs Bunny, like it's just really strange, out of the ordinary.
Wicked Witch, what's his name? The Hangover.
It's as bizarre as they come, in my opinion. It's like, who's buying that? and then obviously he's doing them in limited runs too, which
Yeah.
is at least smart in that regard. But I feel like everything he does, for the most part, he's not stacking for an extended period of time. I mean, you never
Right.
find most of the figures for any of the stuff, for more than a couple of months, because it usually gets flushed through, and you're not finding too much of his stuff in like Ross or Burlington, where you're finding a lot of these other properties that are getting liquidated. His
Yeah.
stuff gets purchased.
Right.
So
No, I agree. I think they should be figures, or even if they were the statues, he should go back to those movie maniacs of yesteryear, and they're actual maniacs. Not well, Ted Lasso was one of them.
like, come on. And think about, like, just think about a different, generation of horror too. You have what was done in the past, which you could potentially revisit as maybe like a classic, but you have so many modern, characters that you can potentially license. You
Right.
have Terrifier, and the list goes on and on. I mean, I would love for him to kind of get the really side tangent, but he had the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise for a
Oh,
little bit,
yeah.
and obviously that didn't last too long. But have you ever seen what those things go for now? It's crazy. $500 for a
Yep.
set.
Yep.
That's when he was doing like that Lego phase where they were like those in South Park. Like he had the whole building sets, but like he'd do a great job and having molds of like stuff like that, because Funko does it all now, but he knows how to like take those mature figures and really
Well,
give them nice articulation and overall design.
speaking of mature figures, he's bringing back the Walking Dead too.
Right.
He got that
True.
light
True.
back. And those that the first initial run of Walking Dead figures were really good. I mean, they were bloody and they were articulated. They were really designed well. You had the zombies. You had missing limbs. Michonne with her blades or those
The two
walkers.
zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had Carl with that bloody what it got Shaw or whatever he wore.
Yeah.
Daryl, you had it was just he did a really good job with those figures, and now that he's got him, I guess he got the license back because I don't recall who had the license after and between him. So
Yeah. I mean, you haven't seen much in figure form, I would say. It's been a while
right,
since, if at least not like in a brick and mortar,
sure,
Like I feel like GameStop was probably the last time I saw them, but it was probably his figures. I'm thinking
right,
years ago. It was probably like 6, 7 years ago, if not longer, maybe, right?
at
Because that
least
show's
yeah,
been around a long time.
it has yeah. My
So,
daughter loved that show, and I got her Daryl and his chopper as a set.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, beautifully. There's a detail. I mean, those were McFarlane figures.
Yeah, he
So,
does great. I was gonna say he does great on the vehicles too. It's the
oh
one
yeah,
thing we didn't really talk about. That's another dangerous slope for you,
oh
right?
God, yeah. I mean,
Between the Batwing and two Batmobiles and all
uh,
the bikes.
oh my God, and I have them all. My stupid ass has them all.
Yeah.
Christ, and then there's leaks of there we hopefully going to get a tumbler. We're going to get another Batmobile. I don't know which one aside from the tumbler. We're going to get a Joker mobile from the '66 line.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of vehicles still out that could be made. I mean, there's a lot of Batmobiles that could still be made. I mean,
Yeah.
just the movies alone, like the Batman and Robin one or the Batman Forever Batmobiles. I would love to have those if he ever made those. The tumblers
Yeah.
are given, because of Christian
That's
Bale, but I would love to have, even though those movies were like by today's standards, just I mean, I love them. I still love them. They're campy as hell, but they're so cool.
I mean, we finally got an Arnold figure, so I was happy about that. So
So since they released a Val Kilmer figure, that means they're gonna release Batman Forever figures. We'll get a
yeah,
Robin, Chris O'Donnell, not in a Nightwing type looking suit. Jim Carrey, what do you call it? Tommy Lee Jones.
Jones, yeah.
I
That'd be
would
awesome.
love another set, but and
I'll take a Bane as a build a figure.
Ooh, yeah,
Big green Bane.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I just hope he even go as far as back as we'll get a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, a Danny DeVito, you know.
Oh man, get the Penguin. That'd be great.
Here. Wear a button. Let me just get it on there.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever get a Jack Nicholson figure. I mean, it took a while for us to get the Heath Ledger one.
And that's a great figure. It's probably I wasn't crazy about all the Jokerized ones, but I know you got those too.
I have them all. I
Yeah.
have them all.
Is there any figure that you're missing that you haven't gotten yet? Like even like earlier that like, you just maybe waiting for the right price?
No, well, right now I have every single figure except the newly released Crisis on Infinite Earths Spectre
Okay.
Platinum,
The Platinum?
Green Label, Green Era, Green Lantern Spectre.
Yes.
I have them all except for that one, and
Bless your heart.
that one's gonna be a hard ass one to find, only because
it's through
they're
him.
sold out. They're sold out, and his place was the only way to find them. His store. Someone has reached out to McFarlane, and they said that they will be putting those out, the platinum versions, on that
the raffle
that
thing
service.
that he does.
Yeah, that equal service where you
have you had success with that?
I have.
I had success with the first time and not since.
Really? Yeah. And I mean, supposedly they say if you bought the set or you get like several more entries into the hat, so to say, your name into the hat.
Interesting.
Which might be the only way to go, because that figures, like I said, it's only his figure.
Right.
And there was supposed to be, I heard rumors that there was supposed to be another platinum to that set in the in Psycho Pirate, but I haven't heard anyone get that or heard, so which is okay for me because it'd be something else to hunt. But as of right now, I am 100% complete as far as variant.
You get it, like
gold
100%.
labels.
I bow to you, my friend.
Build-A-Figures, collector's editions. I have them all. Even the Page Punchers. I've got those all. The Batman animated series figures.
It's crazy that like I'm still discovering platinums I didn't know, because like you don't, a lot of times they're so limited, you don't even see people post them. Like I didn't know there was a Ghostmaker one for a while, and just saw somebody on TikTok. I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Damn it,
Yeah, Ghost. That's a great figure. That's another really good one.
I love that figure. Yeah,
and I'm glad he's doing figures like that, especially newer names, newer characters.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, I'm so, as far as keeping my nose to the grind, as far as leaks, I will always keep track of all leaks. Like, in fact, last week they just released a good list of maybe 50 figures coming out this year.
Which is crazy.
And
is Cyborg Superman on there?
Yes, it is.
I feel like, oh man, how about a Eradicator that's not all black?
It didn't say. I have the list on my phone. I saved it. I mean, it is a lot of figures we're getting, and I mean, Multiverse, Batman 66, the Batman the Animated Series figures, the collector's edition. One of them I think is gonna be Connor Kent.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I don't remember. I think it was also a classic Green Arrow, either through that way or through the.
I would say that's long overdue too. Now that I think about it, We only have 2, right? I believe. One
We
was
have the
Injustice,
Arrow
and then
and
the WCW.
yeah, the Arrow CW and Justice too. Yeah, no, we need another one. I mean, we need a 2-pack of him and Black Canary. I wish we could get a Black Canary, but you know,
I want a
he's
Wildcat, man. I don't know. I'd
oh
love
yeah,
that.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, he's there. If you ever did you ever collect or did you ever see the Mattel DC Universe figures?
I
They
never
re-
collected them, but I did see, I
they
used to see them in the
released
stores.
they released hundreds and hundreds of figures through the good, I think, 10-year span that they had that line going. Hundreds and hundreds, and they were just digging into the DC library, bringing out
Yeah.
names, and it was to the point where, like, today, Marvel Legends are just getting all names I've never heard of characters. That's what they were doing back then with DC, and I think McFarlane's going to do that soon. Once that's open, the
He's doing it a little bit. He got like
oh,
Animal Man, which
oh yeah,
is
yeah, Animal Man. There's a bunch of them like on that list. I said coming out that I had to really think about it. I'm like, who's that? And they're like, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, no, as long as he digs in deep into his catalog, I think we'll be getting a lot of, especially female characters.
right.
I would love, like I said, I'd love to get a Black Canary, Zatanna. Oh my God, I need her. Shaira, Hawk Girl. We need. We might get her eventually soon because she's coming out in the new Superman movie.
Right. True.
Uh,
True.
we're overdue for a new Harley Quinn figure. We got there's so much he
Yeah.
needs to do. But
And I'm sure he's ready to go. So we just gotta keep those pockets lined.
oh yeah, no, that's what I say. He's gonna have this line for a good while. I do not see him or someone outbidding him, whatever. Whenever the license comes up for order or reapplying again.
Right.
I don't
True.
think he's going to lose it. I mean, especially now that he's in charge of DC Direct, directly from Warner Brothers.
Right.
And that'd be kind of dumb if they gave the license to someone else, but they had him still aboard as a
Yeah.
managing
At the
whatever.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's going anywhere. And then fortunately for us, the fans, we're the ones that are going to benefit from it. Especially the
Our pockets
completest.
aren't gonna, but
Right, my wallet hates me, man.
yeah.
Now that we're gonna get the next week another pre-order set for the Justice League that's coming out. I mean,
Just keeps coming.
yeah. I mean, if you ever get a chance, look up that list, or I'll mail it to you. Whatever. It's at least another 50 figures that are gonna come out up until at least
The end of the year potentially, or
at least till
2025.
Comic-Con set in the summer,
Right.
and
Well,
then
that's
they'll
6
send
months.
another.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they'll send another list for the winter because he does like a winter
Right.
showcase.
Right.
Because at Comic-Con is when he introduces new figures for the beginning of the next year.
Right.
Because
True.
last Comic-Con was the Batman and Robin, if you recall.
Right.
The one last year before that was the Dark Knight
Right.
trilogy. So
Yeah. It's awesome. It's
yeah.
a lot to look forward to, right? No, but listen, man, I don't want to keep you. I really appreciate you taking so much time to chat with me. This was great,
Oh,
and I hope we get to connect again. Again, you are welcome anytime. We can talk toys all day.
oh my God, I can, dude. I can lose my voice just talking about. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a passion. It's a labor of love. I don't have to be doing this. It's just I'm at a point in my life where everything is paid for. My daughter's gone through college. I'm happily divorced. I do not pay child support. I don't. Everything's just where I can do this.
yeah. No, you work hard and you reward yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
So,
and it's awesome to connect with you in a like-minded manner. And again, there's all nothing but love for toys and collectibles here and superheroes. So
yeah, no, dude.
again, I love all your content. I love your videos. You get me excited for figures day and day. You kind of need to stop because I can't keep up. But
Ah,
no, keep up the great work. And maybe in the future we can meet up in person. Like if you get to one of these trade shows, like I'm always at the toy fairs, and I've been
I
trying to
would,
reconnect with McFarlane. And in the press side, it's very hard. Like it felt very like 90s movie. Like I used to work with them years ago, back when I think 2018. I was working with them with just doing like articles and stuff for Gaming Age, the game site I work for.
cool.
But a time went by, the person that I was working with didn't work there anymore. So I tried to reconnect, and then that's just like, no, we don't know who that is. They're not here. And I tried walking up to the booth, and they were just like, no,
Nope,
you can leave your card, but you can't come back here. And I think it's because he was there, and I think they get very protective of him. And it's like I wasn't gonna run in. It was literally it was the toy fair when he showed off the figures just to the media for the Batman and
uh,
Robin set.
yeah.
So like we literally walked around the corner, we saw him. I was like, oh,
See,
there he is.
last year, I was invited to San Diego Comic-Con to his private party before the show. But I was invited like maybe a week and a half
Yeah,
before. I'm like, oh, I cannot make it. And then
yeah,
for the New York Comic Con this past was it December?
yeah.
November?
November, December. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They had also extended an invite, but I'm like, I'm at that point where the only thing holding back, and fortunately, this is fortunate that it's my mom. I'm taking care of my mom, and I had to pass. But I mean, if not, yeah, I would have been there. I would have slept on the damn street just to go in and finally get to meet McFarlane and talk, just shoot the shit.
yeah.
Especially
No,
at
I
the
think
San
that's a great
Diego
opportunity
Comic-Con
for you.
party.
If
Yeah,
I
I
hope,
was.
I hope, I hope it happens for you. I think that'll be
Dude,
really cool. But again, the future is bright. You have a great future ahead of you, and again, keep up all the great work that you do. I
cool.
love everything you do. So thank you for
Thank.
being part of this, and I'm glad we've been able to connect. But
Yes,
you
finally.
have anything else you'd like to share with anybody before we disconnect?
No, no, man. I appreciate all of you. I'm like I said, my dumb ass is on TikTok all the time, and I'm always posting on Instagram and everywhere. But mainly right now it is TikTok. I'm trying to hit that 50,000 follower mark. I will do it soon.
You will.
Uh,
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that. It's a exciting milestone for you.
Oh yeah,
And congrats on just like such a strong support system in the fandom. And I see it. I see the comments. Even the guys that give the hate. The hate is never for you. The hate is for their opinion on the Toddy Max and
yeah.
stuff like
That
that.
and like, why don't you open your figures? That's stupid.
It's true. But now you're giving them a little bit of both because you have that great relationship and they're sending you stuff and you're getting the best of both worlds.
Yes,
So
I'm opening their stuff, not mine.
exactly. It's the way to do it. I mean, I'm grateful. I have some great partnerships with Diamond Select Toys. Thank you
Like,
as always, guys. They always take care of me. I have a huge box here that I have not been able to get through of tons of figures that I gotta, but I'm pressed for time, as you
I hear
know.
you. I hear you. It does take time to make a video, edit, put it up. Yeah, it takes time.
Absolutely. But, we have great opportunities. So when we have the time, we
It's a
put
labor
our
of love.
love into it. That's it.
Yes.
But again,
Cool.
LT, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
I appreciate
Everybody, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate your time. Till next time, take care and
it.
have
Later.
fun, everybody.
Bye bye.